Hi guys, it's Izzy and I'm back with another video. Today it is currently January 7th, I think, so I'm kind of late to the game in this, but I wanted to do a Christmas book haul of all the books that I got with Christmas money or for Christmas. And I apologize if you can hear anyone in the background because my mom and my brother are in the living room right now, so I apologize about that. So we're just gonna get started. We're just gonna get right into it. So first, I'm just gonna show you guys the ones that I got from my family. So this one my grandma got me. It's called An Elephant in the Garden by Michael Morpurgo. I think I've seen this before. Like, I think either my mom read it or someone in my family read it. I don't really know what it's about. I can read the back really quick. The bombing of Dresden looms ahead, and Lizzie's mother, a zookeeper, persuades the zoo director to allow Marlene, a young elephant that has bonded with Lizzie and her younger brother Carl, to be kept safe in their garden. Their home is destroyed when bombs are dropped, so the family and Marlene have no choice but to flee with thousands of others in the dead of winter. Though how can they walk the same route and keep themselves safe from approaching Russian soldiers with an elephant in tow? That actually sounds interesting. So yeah, my grandma got me this one. And then my dad and my dad's girlfriend got me this book, It by Stephen King. I think we all know what this is about. It's huge. I think it's about 1,100 pages. But this one's basically about a killer clown. Like, I think we all know what it's about. The next two books I got were from my brother. First we have Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. I actually already have this book, but I asked for another copy because I want to reread it and annotate it. So I asked for this for Christmas because I love this book a lot and I really want to have an annotated version. This is basically about two teenagers who are struggling in their lives, but they end up falling in love. And it's a really sad story, but I think it's so good. I love the writing. There are some controversial things in this book that I've heard about that I didn't really know about until I actually looked up the book on TikTok. I'm not exactly sure. Please let me know, you guys, because I really do love this book and I don't want to be canceled. So if any of you have read this book, please let me know what the deal is with that. Also for my brother, I got The First Ladies by Marie Benedict and Victoria Christopher Murray. This is actually a signed copy. So there's their signatures. When I got this, I was actually trying to figure out what she wrote. Like, does that say bless up? Because it looks like it says bless up to me. Or blessings. I'm not sure. This is, I think, a historical fiction with romance, I would assume. I'm just gonna read the synopsis for you guys. This says, it's a novel about the extraordinary partnership between First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt and civil rights activist Mary McLeod Bethune, an unlikely friendship that changed the world. I just read the little blurb right here. I didn't read all this because I don't think you guys are interested in listening to me read all of that. Yeah, so I think this is historical fiction. I love historical fiction, so I'm actually excited to read this. And the fact that it's a signed copy is pretty cool too. Next, I'm going to show you guys the books that my boyfriend got for me. First, I got Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Elir Sains. I don't know, but I actually just finished this book today and it's really cute. I highly recommend this book. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. This is basically about Dante and Ari and their friendship, and they basically are learning about each other and learning about themselves, and it's just a really cute self-discovery book and it's really good. Like, I highly recommend it. Next, he got me the last two books in the Summer I Turned Pretty series. So the next two books in this series are It's Not Summer Without You by Jenny Han and We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. I absolutely love this series and I wanted to just have the last two books because I love the books, so I want to own them and I would like to reread them and annotate them. So I'm very excited about that. This series is basically about Belly and her mother and her brother, and they have friends that live somewhere else and they meet every summer at a beach house in Cousins. I think it's in Pennsylvania, and they meet there every summer and they're basically best friends, and Belly ends up falling in love with one of the brothers of the other family and it's just really good. I love the writing, I love the characters. I mentioned this in my last video that the characters from this book were my favorite main characters of the books that I read in 2023. So I absolutely recommend this series. I think I read these 2 books in the same day, or I read them, like I read this one in one day and this one in one day. Like, they are so good, and I was so into this series. Next, he got me All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I'm not exactly sure what this is about. I just know that my mom was watching the show for it, and she said it was really good, and she said that I should read it. So I got the book before I could watch the movie, and this is actually a pretty long book. Like, I didn't expect it to be this long. But let's figure out what it's about together. The synopsis says, Marie-Laure lives with her father in Paris near the Museum of Natural History where he works. When she is 12, the Nazis occupy Paris, and father and daughter flee to the walled city of Saint-Malo, where Marie-Laure's reclusive great-uncle lives in a tall house by the sea. With them, they carry what might be the museum's most valuable and dangerous jewel. In a mining town in Germany, Werner, an orphan, grows up with his younger sister, enchanted by a crude radio they find that brings them news and stories from places they have never seen or imagined. Werner becomes an expert at building and fixing these crucial new instruments and is enlisted to use his talent to track down the resistance. Marie-Laure and Werner, from warring countries, come together in St. Malo as Dora illuminates the ways against all odds people try to be good to one another. This sounds really actually good. I absolutely love historical fiction, so I'm very excited to read this book. Next, he actually got me The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes in the Hunger Games series. I actually have yet to read the 3rd book in this series, but I do really want to watch the movie, so this is like, I want to read this very soon. I want to finish the 3rd book and then read this. I think we all know what the Hunger Games is about. This one is from President Snow's perspective, I'm pretty sure. I don't really want to go into it knowing a lot because I actually have not seen I don't think I've seen the 2nd or the 3rd or the 4th movie. So I really do want to read this so I can actually watch the whole series. This next stack of books is all the books that I got myself with my own money that I got for Christmas. First, I got The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. I bought this because I'm really into that summer kind of vibe. Obviously, with The Summer I Turned Pretty, I love that series, and I really was looking for something that gave off the same vibe. And so I found that a lot of the reviews said that this was a lot like that series, so I thought this would be a really good read. The back says, it's all fun and games until someone loses their heart. When Meredith Fox lost her sister Claire 18 months ago, she shut everyone out, but this summer she's determined to join the world again. The annual family vacation to Martha's Vineyard seems like a perfect place to reconnect. Her entire extended family is gathering for a big summer wedding, and although Meredith is dateless after being unexpectedly dumped, she's excited to participate in the traditional Fox family game of assassin that will take place during the week of wedding festivities. Claire always loved the game, and Meredith is determined to honor her legacy. But when Meredith forms an alliance with a cute groomsman, she finds herself getting distracted. Meredith tries to focus on the game and win it for her sister, but she can't help falling for him. And as the week progresses, she realizes she's not only at risk of losing the game, but also her heart. So that's what The Summer of Broken Rules is about. I'm really excited to read this. And for some reason, I love reading these summery books in the winter, because when it's winter, I always want the summer, and when it's the summer, I always want the winter. So that's basically how I live my life. I'm really excited to read this. I think I might actually start this book since I just finished my other one, but we'll see. Next, I got Beach Read by Emily Henry. I read Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and I did not like it. I don't think I liked it at all. I think I rushed to get to the end of it because I did not like it. But I'm willing to give it another chance. I obviously love summer reads, so I think that I might like this or the next book I'm going to show you guys. The synopsis of this book reads, Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens a happily ever after, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Then, one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Augustus will spend the summer writing something happy, and January will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of a backwoods death cult, obviously. Everyone will finish a book and no one will fall in love, really. That's what Beach Read is about. I'm really excited to get to this book as well. And then I decided to go all out with the Emily Henry, and I got People We Meet on Vacation. Obviously, this is another good summer read that I'm excited for. The synopsis of this one says, Poppy and Alex and Poppy, they have nothing in common. She's a wild child, he wears khakis. She has insatiable wanderlust, he prefers to stay home with a book. And somehow, ever since a fateful car share home from college many years ago, they are the very best of friends. For most of the year, they live far apart. She's in New York City and he's in their small hometown. But every summer for a decade, they have taken one glorious week of vacation together. Until 2 years ago when they ruined everything, they haven't spoken since. Poppy has everything she should want, but she's stuck in a rut. When someone asks when she was last truly happy, she knows without a doubt that it was on that ill-fated final trip with Alex. And so she decides to convince her best friend to take one more vacation together, lay everything on the table, make it all right. Miraculously, he agrees. Now she has a week to fix everything, if only she can get around the one big truth that has always stood quietly in the middle of their seemingly perfect relationship. What could possibly go wrong? So that's People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I'm very excited to get to this also. These next 3 books I actually just got in the mail today. So first we have Misery by Stephen King. As far as I know, this is about someone who writes books and it's from the point of view of this person's biggest fan. So I'll just read the back for you since I don't know much about it. Best-selling novelist Paul Sheldon has finally met his biggest fan. Her name is Annie Wilkes, and she is dismayed to discover Paul's plans to kill off Misery Chastain, the heroine of his beloved series. Annie is more than a rabid reader. She is Paul's nurse, tending his shattered body after an automobile accident. She is also his captor, imprisoning him in her isolated house where no one knows where he is. Annie wants Paul to write his greatest work just for her. She has a lot of ways to spur on him. One is a needle, another is an axe, and then there's the blowtorch. Winner of the Bram Stoker Award for Best Novel, a classic film starring Academy Award winner Kathy Bates, and recently adapted for the stage starring Bruce Willis and Lauren Metcalf, Misery is one of King's most brilliant and formidably unnerving books ever. I actually picked this book up because we have a community theater near us that is putting on a show of this book, and I wanted to read the book before going to it. So I'm really excited. I need to read this before February since the play is in February. Next, I got Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. When I took this book out of the box, the first thing I noticed is how floppy it is. Like, this is the floppiest book I've ever had or touched. Anyways, though, the second thing I noticed is how many words are in these pages. That doesn't look like a lot because it's just dialogue, but like, girl. And this book is big. Obviously, this is a hardcover. It's almost the same size as the hardcover. So this is pretty scary. Like, I wish I had the other edition of this book, but here we are. This is the one I ended up getting. I'm pretty sure this is a love story. I'll read you the back. Johnny has everything going for him. On the rugby pitch, he's a force to be reckoned with, even plagued with a hidden injury. Everyone knows he's heading straight for the top, but that means there's no room for mistakes or distractions. Not even the shy new girl at Tom in college, the one with the sad eyes and concealed bruises. He needs to stay focused, keep his cool, and not let anything get in the way of a bigger picture. Except before he knows it, this lonely girl has become his only picture. Life has never been easy for Shannon Lynch. Bullied and tortured, she arrives at Tom in college midway through the school year, praying for a fresh start and desperate to shake off the demons that plague her. But when she meets the notorious Johnny on her first day, her plans to keep a low profile are at serious risk. As they fall into a complicated friendship and grapple with their undeniable chemistry, hidden pain and complicated secrets threaten to be their undoing. But Johnny won't give up on Shannon, no matter what it might cost them both. I'm really excited to read this. I've heard such great things about it, and I'm really excited to read it. So next I got Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. This, I am so excited to read it. I am in love with sea creatures, and the synopsis of this book sounds so interesting to me. I read it today, the synopsis, and from what I took out of it, this is about A woman who works at an aquarium and takes care of this octopus who loses her son because he went missing on a boat. And the octopus actually finds out what happens to him, and he has to try to communicate with the aquarium worker to tell her what happened. So I'm actually very excited to read this book. I've heard nothing but great things about it, and I think I want to read this very soon. So the last one I want to show you guys is Mercury by Amy Jo Burns. This was my book of the month pick, and I can't really remember what it's about, so I'll just read you guys the synopsis. It's 1990 and 17-year-old Marley West is blazing into the river valley town of Mercury, Pennsylvania. A perpetual loner, she seeks a place at someone's table and a family of her own. The first thing she sees when she arrives in town is 3 men standing on a rooftop. Their silhouettes blot out the sun. The Joseph brothers become Marley's whole world before she can blink. Soon she is the young wife to one, the one who got away to another, and adopted mother to all. As their own mother fades away and their roofing business crumbles under the weight of their unwieldy father's inflated ego, Marley steps in to shepherd these unruly men. Years later, an eerie discovery in a church attic causes old wounds to resurface, and suddenly the family's survival hangs in the balance. With Marley as their light, the Joseph brothers must decide whether they can save the family they've always known, or whether together they can build something stronger in its place. So this sounds really interesting. I'm not sure if I want to read it soon or not. I feel like I should, just because it's my book of the month and I know I probably should. But I have those other books on my radar that I'm more excited to read, but I'm still very excited to read it. Also, this cover is beautiful to me. It's so simple, but I think it's really beautiful and I really like it a lot. So that is all I ended up getting for Christmas. Just a disclaimer that I'm very grateful for everything that I got. Reading is like my biggest hobby, and this is the main thing that I asked for this Christmas, which is why I got so much of it. I'm very grateful for everything, so thank you to everyone who got me a book for Christmas. I also just wanted to let other readers out there who might not have the opportunity to have as much physical copies of books as I have. I just want you to know that you don't need to buy books to be considered a real reader. I grew up going to the library. I just started collecting my books this year and last year, so don't feel like you need to buy books to read them. That's something that I really had to struggle with for a while, is coming to terms with the fact that I do not have all the money in the world and I cannot buy all of the books that I would like to. So I just wanted to let those young readers know that it's okay not to have a lot of physical books. Going to the library or borrowing your friend's book is just as valid as having an entire library. That's all I had for my book haul for Christmas in 2023. I'm very excited to read these books, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I just started my YouTube channel and I'm really trying to feel comfortable in front of the camera, but I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe or like the video if you want to see more. I really appreciate it. I've always had a dream of sharing my love of reading with the world, and I'm so glad that I'm finally getting around to it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!